YouTube! Hello all our super truckers and welcome back to our channel. I am MudFlap and that is Flapjack. He just got done driving his leg for the day and he is on his 10-hour break. So I will be taking over the wheel and Lily is outside checking our blinker fluid because you always want to have your blinker fluid full. I have to do a little shout out. That's right. And their daddy's channel is I Am Small Fry, so please check out his channel if you get a second. I gotta get going because I think we need to get into this video. Alright guys, let's get jumping right on into this video and away we go. This is News Anchor Flapjack. That's right, I'm a news anchor too. I am today in this video. And this is my partner, Flapjack. And we're coming to you with some important information today. Well, actually, Lily is going to be speaking to you in just a little bit. Mother Nature is coming, you guys. She is going to be putting snow and sleet and ice and all that nasty, nasty stuff. It's coming. So in this video, Lily is going to talk to you about things that you should have on your tractor trailer to be prepared for when Mother Nature comes with all that nasty white stuff, because it's coming, especially up here in the Northeast. We had a nice little dusting yesterday, and boy, it gave some drivers quite some problems. The roads were quite slippery. So Flapjack and I want to make sure that you are all prepared for when the snow comes. So Lily, Flapjack, and I just want to make sure that you are prepared for the snow when it comes. So we hope you enjoy the video. So without further ado, let's just get jumping into this video. What do you think, guys? And away we go.
Hello YouTube, hello all my super truckers. I am Lilly Trucker. If you have yet to subscribe to the channel, please do. You can click on the little bell and that will tell you when I upload my newest videos so that you can be first to see them. I think that MudFlap gave you guys a nice little introduction into what we're going to talk about today. We are going to be starting to talk about winter and winter driving and things to be prepared for winter. And in this video, we are only going to cover 10 things. And what it's going to be, it's going to be 5 things for your tractor and 5 things for yourself to have you prepared going into winter and snow and sleet and all that icky stuff that we have coming, unfortunately. So we'll start with 5 things that you need for your tractor, or that I think you need. I definitely want to have them for myself. So the first one's going to be windshield washer fluid. You are going to want to have extra windshield washer fluid. Well, you're saying, well, I got windshield washer fluid in my truck. Let me tell you, in the winter, you're going to go through double the amount of windshield washer fluid that you go through during the summer months. And another thing you might want to think about is getting one that doesn't freeze. If your company supplies you endless washer fluid, it may not be one that doesn't freeze. So if you get in sub-zero below weather in parts of the country, it may freeze on you. So you may want to look into getting yourself a bottle of the stuff that doesn't freeze, which is what I do. I just go to Walmart and I pick up a bottle of it. I pour it in with the other one. It seems to work. I've never had it freeze up on me. Though I did watch a video on a woman driver who says she uses alcohol to defreeze it. I don't know if it works, guys. I've never tried it. It sounded like it might work. She said if her windshield wipers, if the little spigot that makes so the windshield washer fluid comes out, she'll pour the alcohol in there and gets it unfroze. I don't know, it makes sense that it would work, but I've never tried it, guys. So maybe you can Google it or look on YouTube. Maybe you can find a video that somebody did on it. Once I know somebody did it, then maybe I'll try it, but I don't want to do something that I'm not sure if it works or not. So with that being said, make sure you have extra windshield washer fluid. The next thing you're gonna want is air brake antifreeze. And I always mess up saying it, that's why I make sure I looked at it. And what that's for is if you get condensation, moisture, or ice in your air lines. You're gonna wanna pour that in them. You pour it in about up to the top of the metal. Then you're gonna put your glad hand back on the trailer, come in. You're gonna release the air to the trailer. About a minute, not even. Pull it out, release again. You do it like 2-3 times to really push that stuff through the system. And if you got some ice or condensation and stuff like that, it'll dry it up. So, and it'll make it so your brakes will release. Another thing to think about with that is having a hammer, because sometimes if it's real cold and all that ice and snow and stuff gets packed up into your brakes and stuff, they can get iced up and froze up, especially if the trailer's just sitting and it's not moving for like several days in sub-below zero weather. Sometimes your brakes will get iced up and locked right up, so you can take a hammer out and you can tap on them a little bit along with the air brake antifreeze, and oftentimes you can get those brakes to release. Another thing you can do with that is sometimes if they're getting the air and the release but they're still locked up, sometimes if you back up a little bit before you pull forward, so back up first, pull forward just a little bit, and really keep an eye on your trailer tires, you could get them to release up. It's always worked for me. I really haven't had too much of an issue with my brakes freezing up, though I had one time they were froze up really good. Now listen guys, they weren't froze. I forgot my trolley brake was on. So I had a driver, he was helping me, and they weren't frozen up. We tried everything to get them brakes unfrozen, but they're not gonna get unfroze if you got your trolley brake on. So if you put your trolley brake on to watch for your brake lights and it's the winter months, remember to take that stupid thing off, or you're gonna think your brakes are froze up and they're not froze up. That's a little story that happened to me in the winter, but don't tell nobody. Okay, the next thing you're gonna wanna have, I think is a good thing to have, and it doesn't have to be expensive. I think I got mine at Dollar General. It is a shovel. It does not have to be anything big. You know, you don't need the industrial shovel, you just need a shovel. And the reason why you want to have a shovel is if you're in the truck stop, say you're over the road, you're in the truck stop and they get dumped on a lot of snow, they're going to plow out the truck stop, but they're not going to plow you out, you know, so remember those things. So you may have to shovel yourself out. Another thing is if, you know, you got to go get your trailer from a drop yard or wherever, they're going to plow themselves out, but they're not going to plow your trailer out. You know, don't expect them to be cleaning the snow for you, because if you expect it, it's not going to happen. You know, so sometimes you've got to go through a foot of snow to get to your landing gear, or, you know, you can't even get under the trailer because there's so much snow packed up in front of it that a shovel is a good thing to have. You can either put it in your side box, or you can, I've seen people put them right on the back of the tractor. But if you do that, make sure you secure it, because anything that you got on the outside of your tractor, make sure it's secured. So, a shovel is a good idea. Next thing I'm going to throw in there is a flashlight. The flashlight goes with the hammer because you're going to want to have a flashlight. Especially, I would hope you have it for your pre-trips and your post-trips, but get yourself a really good one. Like I've said in a couple of videos, you just want the cheapo one. Get yourself something good that you can really see, because in the winter months when it's snowing, it's sleeting, it's nasty, it's blowing, and it's awful out there, you're going to want to be able to see, for one, and for two, you want people to see you. Sometimes I will use that flashlight just so other drivers can see, you know, yo, I'm out here, I'm working around this equipment. Don't be, you know, backing into me, because people will do crazy stuff. You can be sitting there thinking, oh, nobody's going to back into this slot when you're putting your landing gear down, and you got this crazy that decides they're going to start backing in. Let me tell you, it does not work with me. I will put a stop to it real quick. So that's just another little example of have a flashlight. The last thing that we're going to cover in things for your tractor in this video is going to be cat litter. I always have cat litter on the truck because I bring the cats every now and then, though they haven't been on here in quite some time, but they do come, so I always have I have cat litter here because I have a cat litter pan in the tractor. But I I have never had to use cat litter, though many people say that it works really well if you need to get some traction. I guess the same as if you use sand or whatever, but you can use the cat litter. It's easy to put on the truck. You know, I would say you don't need, like, again, you don't need a humongous bag of cat litter. Just get something small so that if you're on ice and your drives are spinning, you can put a little bit of that cat litter there. Maybe it'll help you get some traction if you get stuck. Again, I have never had to use it, and I'm in the Northeast and it snows here. I'm in New York and it snows, and in 4 years I have not had to resort to cat litter. I've always been able to get myself out. Not to say that I haven't had some situations where I've been stuck and been in question whether I was gonna have to resort to it, but I have always been able to get myself out of it. Okay, so that's just about 5 things there that you would want to have for your tractor for going into winter. Now, the next things we're going to cover is things you're going to want for yourself, because, you know, you may not have things on your tractor all year long that you're going to want to have in the winter. So you want to get that stuff so you have it before winter comes. You want to be prepared. So this video, more than anything, is to prepare you. So you are going to want an extra change of clothes. Now, if you're over the road, you probably do have a change of clothes, or I would hope you had a change of clothes. But for you local drivers, if you have a backpack or something that you bring your stuff to work in, throw a change of clothes in. Even if it's something simple like sweatpants, a sweatshirt, and a long sleeve t-shirt or something like that. An extra change of clothes, because during the winter months, even if it isn't snowing, sometimes it's that cold sleet rain that just gets you soaking wet, and once you're cold, you go cold to the bone, and then it seems like it definitely brings on colds and sickness, and it just makes you miserable, right? Who wants to be cold and frozen? So have a spare set of clothes with you, and have extra socks. I cannot express this enough. Have extra socks, because when your feet get cold, you might as well hang it up, because your whole body's going to be cold. So have extra socks with you too. That is a must. The next is have a spare pair of shoes. Boots. You want to have boots. So if you don't wear boots every day and you wear those sneakers or those kicks or whatever you're wearing, you are going to want to have boots in the winter, because sometimes, like I said, with the trailer stuff, you are going to be stomping through snow, and sneakers get wet, and then your feet get wet, and then you get miserable, and you get cold, and you get sick. So have boots. Have a nice pair of boots, an extra pair of boots. I always have an extra pair of boots in the tractor. They're right behind the passenger seat. I'll show you. I have these here. So have a pair of boots. I also have a pair of sneakers back in the bunk for the summer months, you know. So if your feet get wet, you want to have dry feet. You don't want wet, cold feet. The next thing is going to be, you want to have gloves, hats, mittens, whatever to keep your hands warm. You know, because if your truck breaks down, you get stuck in the cold, your hands, you don't want them to get cold. They're the same as your feet, guys. You don't want them to get cold. You don't want them to be wet. Have extra. A good thing that I do is every time I buy new gloves, because I buy gloves quite often, because when they get dirty, I don't like it, and I'll buy a new pair. I always keep my old ones, or sometimes they do get a rip or whatever. I keep the old ones, and I have a pile of them actually right next to me, guys. See, I have many more. I have a whole pile of them in the side pouch. But I keep them especially for the winter, because when your gloves get wet, your hands get cold. I don't want to have that. So have gloves, and definitely keep an extra warm pair for if, you know, God forbid you do break down or whatever, and you know you don't have heat. You're gonna want to have nice warm mittens or gloves to put on your hands to keep you warm. You want to be able to stay warm till somebody can get to you and help you. So gloves are definitely a must. And you want to have a hat. I know we're all like, oh, hats mess my hair up, or hats this, hats that. You're going to want a hat, because it gets blowy and cold out there, and all of a sudden style doesn't matter anymore, because when you've got to walk quite a distance to check in and go back and get your bills and stuff, because sometimes it's not just a little walk, you got to walk a good distance in that cold, blowing, brutal weather. You want to be warm and toasty. You want to have yourself a nice jacket. Get yourself something warm. Something that's going to keep you warm. You don't want to, you know, I wear vests and a sweatshirt most of the winter, but I always keep a nice heavy jacket on the truck with me. So that when it's cold, blustery days, I can put that on and be nice and warm. So you're going to want to have a jacket that will keep you warm, not something thin, something that will keep you warm. Some of those jackets that got the fleece lining in them stuff, sometimes they keep you even warmer. So get yourself a good jacket. And the reflective ones are nice too, you know, that way you got a warm jacket on, it's winter, it's blowing, snowing, and they can see that reflective jacket. So they're worth the investment. I actually have to purchase a new one. I'm going to go out this weekend and see about getting a new one, because my old one I actually sold in a garage sale because it was way too big for me. And I knew it was going to be extra big for me come this winter, so I'm going to go out and get a new one, so you guys should see that in the coming videos. But get yourself a nice jacket. They're worth the investment, and if you can get a reflective one, get a reflective one. The next is put some extra blankets on your tractor with you. I put an extra quilt on, and I already have an extra quilt on the bed. And get yourself a fuzzy blanket. It seems like fuzzy blankets just make you feel warmer. Well, I think that. So get yourself extra blankets in here, because again, if you break down, you get stuck, or you're somewhere where it's the dead of winter and they don't let you idle the truck. It does happen. Some of these places will not let you idle the truck, even if it's winter, which I think is completely ridiculous. You're going to want to be able to cover up and stay warm, which is where your mittens and your hats and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to keep going, but you're going to want to have that stuff to keep you warm. The last thing that we're going to cover in this video is going to be water. You want to have water, and you want to have food that will not expire. So get yourself things that you can put on the tractor that's like your safety stash, that in the event that you need food and you need water, that you have it on the tractor with you. I always, in this case, I do have a can of SpaghettiOs, can of Vienna sausage, the chicken ones. Not that I really particularly like them, but if you need it, you have it. SpaghettiOs, they're not the healthiest options, but again, it's if you're stuck and you've got to wait and you don't know when they're coming to help you, or how long it's going to take, and you get hungry. Why should you have to sit there and be hungry? You have things there. So you also can get, you can get healthier options. I'm sure you guys are going, well, I can think of a million healthier options, but you know what I mean. Have things that will not expire, that you can put on the tractor, that will get you through the winter months, so that if you need it, it's there. So this was just 10 things, 5 for your tractor, 5 for yourself, to get you going into winter, things that you should have on the tractor to have you ready for the winter. So I think I'm going to finish this video up here. I'm going to say bye for now, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. If you like this video and it helped you out, especially some of you new drivers that don't know what to put on your tractor for the winter, well, give me a thumbs up. And even if you're not a new driver, well, give me a thumbs up too. And if you just hated the video, well, don't give me a thumbs down. I'll try to do better on the next one. I'm going to get going for now. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys. See you in the next video.